حتى لا احنا بغرب حسين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And those were images from the Mashaya, the procession here in London for Arbaeen 2020. As you can see, millions, thousands. I thought I was in Karbala there for a second. Thousands and thousands of people have joined us here in London, Marble Arch, and are walking together as different mawakib down Park Lane in the remembrance of Abu Abdullah Hussain and also Sayyid Zainab Sallallahu Alaiha. There we have one mawkib there. That's the Karbala'i mawkib, as you can see, hopefully, and different mawakib from all different centres here in London. Some are Pakistani, some are Afghani, some are Irani, some are reverts. You should be able to see them on screen right now. People there with their flags, with their alems, some there with their different symbols of Shia Islam. Some have ta'abut, some have coffins. One person I interviewed, he brought a horse and dressed it up as the horse of Imam Hussein, the Zuljuna. People were taking pictures with them and so forth. So here we have a very, very commemorative occasion. So many people bringing their own hints and cultures to commemorate Abu Abdullah Hussain and also to commemorate the Arbaeeniyya and specifically the walk that Sayyida Zainab did for Abu Abdullah Hussain. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest, a very, very close friend of the channel and an individual who has revolutionized the curriculum here in the West, the UK curriculum in regards to religious studies, a man who introduced not only Shia theology but the Ahlul Bayt towards education here in the UK, none other than Zameer Hussain. Assalamu alaikum, Zameer.
Walaikum assalam. Great to see you.
Fantastic to see you always. Last time you interviewed me, I remember, now it's my turn, mashallah. So, what brings you here?
Well, as we can see, it's been a very limited Muharram for many of us in the UK and across the world. And I thought, with the restrictions we have, the one thing that I could do to physically, outwardly express my grief and my condolences is to come to the march. So this is why I'm here, to outwardly express this. Inwardly, I did a lot at home, but this is my chance to do it outwardly, and there's no better way to do it this way.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I see you've got your hat with your saying on there, and also, you know, the other attire. Just quickly before we go into, you know, your expertise. COVID, Muharram, and now Arbaeen. How, as a Shia community, how have we coped? Do you think we've done well, or do you think that more could have been done?
No, I think we've done really, really well. You know, not just on the channel, but shout out to the channel itself. But I think media was a huge part and played an important role in giving the message out. So, you know, we missed the atmosphere, we missed, you know, being together with people, we missed the, you know, the latam, the matam, we missed the poetry. But I think getting the message at home was great, and I think the media channels did a really fantastic job with the content. What was nice about it, I guess, was I could listen to many lectures in one night as opposed to limiting to myself to one. But we definitely missed the atmosphere. But we do what we can, and I think the sincerity that people showed will be rewarded for sure.
Inshallah. Even here today for the march, you know, they're making groups of 6, they're trying to keep 2 meters distance apart. The police are here, everyone's here. So, I mean, it's nice that, yes, we're still allowed, and also that, you know, we are honouring, you know, Abu Abdullah Hussain, as well as honouring the restrictions made by the government here. People are wearing masks, people have got their gloves on, everything, and that still allows us to continue. How important do you feel it is to continue the message of Imam Hussain, to continue these rituals, majlis, you know, wearing black, Matam, Jalous like this, a march like this, these rituals that we do every year, how important is it for our community to uphold and keep this going and going?
I mean, I think if you go back 1,000 years, it was more difficult than what we have today to commemorate Imam Hussain, especially for his family. So I think if we use that as an example, that under all circumstances, we commemorate, the same thing applies here. I think we've done a fantastic job to outwardly express this, and by honouring both the law of the land, people's health, as well as the honouring of Imam Hussain himself. So I think we've done a fantastic job, and it's so important to keep these traditions alive as much as possible that we have in the restrictions. But alhamdulillah, it's been a great job.
Fantastic. Now, more towards your expertise, and I wanted to ask you was, how did you introduce the Ahlul Bayt? 2, the Western curriculum here in the UK?
So, I can't say I was solely responsible. I was part of the bandwagon and the momentum that caused it to happen. In 2016, the Education Department of the Government of the UK, they reformed many subjects, including RE. And that happened to be the time I was becoming a teacher, or I was a couple of years into my teaching career. I was in a very niche position. I'm an RE teacher from a Shia background, which is quite rare in this country. And the RE curriculum wanted to focus on diversity within religion. And as you probably know, when you went to school, Shia Islam would not have got a mention. If so, it was a small box in the corner of a book.
Yeah.
And all you ever were told were the idea of self-flagellation and nothing more than that. So alhamdulillah, there was a movement and they consulted many experts from the teacher community like myself, as well as the scholarly community, and we were able to choose curriculum and choose things that go into the curriculum. And so alhamdulillah, now it's compulsory to learn about Ashura. It's compulsory to learn about the 5 Usul ad-Din, the 10 Furu ad-Din. If you go to A level, you must learn about other things about Mahdiology and more theological, deeper concepts. So alhamdulillah, I was also involved being an author of the textbook on Shia Islam for students, and that was quite nice as well. So alhamdulillah, it's been taken very, very well, and it's in the curricula. We might not see the effects of it now, but I think going forward into university, where we have issues between ABSOCs and other societies perhaps, the new generation who now go into university, they're going to have a much more rounded, educated take on Shia Islam, and there should be no more issue in the next few years. So the seeds are planted now, and we hopefully see it in the future.
Excellent. My final question to you, brother, is looking at Arbaeen and also Imam Hussein, what are the best techniques to introduce non-Muslims to Imam Hussein and to things like Arbaeen and stuff like that?
It's a great question, and I think Imam Hussein himself is introducible to many people and all people anyway. I think perhaps sometimes where we kind of not fail but lack in is using the right language. So for example, we sometimes frame Imam Hussein in a very Muslim-friendly language, and if you do that, you may alienate other people from him. So I think it's very important to use a frame of reference that other people know. So for example, you had a priest with us just beforehand. The natural way to introduce him is through the parallel of Jesus and through Mary herself. If you speak to the Sikh community, you'd speak about Guru Gobind Singh, who gave up his life for social justice. If you speak about Buddha to a Buddhist, we speak about the spirituality of Imam Hussein. So I think we need to educate ourselves in other walks of life, not just our own, and we can have that common frame of reference. And in my experience, be it in school or the interfaith work that I do in the community, all you need to know is how Imam Hussein applies to everybody. And then when you have that reference and that frame of reference, it is very easy. And naturally, Imam Hussein is loved by all people who are pure, which are most people. So I think it's very easy. He does the hard work for us. It's about how we frame it with that language, I think.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Zameer Hussain, and inshallah, may Allah accept all your good deeds and your work, especially your ziyarah here and all your amal tonight.